God marks you, not even the devil can touch you unless it's to protect his investment. Let that sink in. You've heard of bodyguards. But have you ever been so spiritually dangerous that even hell had to stand down? Listen closely. Most people have no idea what it really means to be chosen. They think it's about favor, miracles, and good vibes, but here's the raw truth. They don't tell you that being chosen means becoming a walking contradiction. You're attacked, hated, envied, yet still divinely protected in ways that don't even make sense. Here's a wild fact. Studies in neuroscience show that deep trauma survivors often develop heightened intuition and resilience. Now imagine combining that with spiritual anointing. That's not just survival, that's divine mutation, and that's you, chosen one. You weren't just covered by God, you were so set apart that your life carried a spiritual do not touch sign. People tried to break you, but heaven had alarms. Demons tried to approach, but even they got nervous. You became so wrapped in divine purpose that even the devil had to say, yeah, not this one. Touching them might get me fired. But here's the twist. Now those same people who tried to ruin you, they're sitting in regret, clutching their chests like they're the victims, crying in group chats, stalking your glow like it owes them closure. Wondering how someone they thought they buried ended up resurrecting with receipts, resilience, and radiance. So sit tight, because what you're about to hear isn't just a message, it's a revelation. A spiritual mic drop on why your anointing has not only confused your enemies, but shaken the hierarchy of darkness itself. Let's get into it. Number one, your anointing was so authentic. Even the enemy had to submit. Your anointing wasn't loud, but it was lethal to anything fake around you. You didn't have to perform, announce, or show off. Your presence alone made spirits uneasy, and not just people. We're talking about forces, energies, and realms that most don't even recognize exist. That's how real your calling is. You were born with a spiritual voltage so high, even darkness had to double-check before making a move on you. Some people got attacked, torn apart, and taken out completely. But when it came to you, there was a strange delay. Things would get close, but never hit. Plots would form, but fall apart mid-air. People would try to curse you and end up cursing themselves. That's not luck. That's divine jurisdiction. Even the enemy had to step back and say, we can't touch this one recklessly. Because to mess with you was to violate heavenly protocol. There are certain people that heaven protects like royalty. You are one of them. And the wildest part, you didn't even know how high your rank was. You were just trying to survive. You were just trying to heal, trying to be normal. Meanwhile, hell was holding emergency meetings, wondering why you were still standing. See, the enemy works smarter than people give credit for. He doesn't waste resources on battles he knows he can't win. So with you, he tried subtle routes, through people, betrayal, manipulation, confusion. But even then, something would always block the full impact. That something was your anointing. It wasn't about you being perfect, it was about you being chosen. And because you were chosen, the spiritual realm recognized you as off-limits. Your life was marked, not by trauma, not by failure, but by God himself. And now, the enemy is forced to sit back and watch you glow, watch you rise, watch you walk in full authority, because he couldn't touch you. So now, like everyone else, he's watching you become unstoppable. Number two, they didn't just regret losing you, they regret ever mishandling sacred territory. They thought they were just dealing with a regular person, someone they could toy with, discard, or manipulate when it suited them. But what they didn't realize is they were mishandling something sacred. You weren't just another friend, partner, or family member. You were divine access, a walking connection to grace, healing, and elevation. God placed you in their lives as a lifeline, but instead of recognizing it, they mocked it, they disrespected it. And now the regret is deeper than losing you. It's the slow, painful realization that they offended something far bigger than you. People don't always know what they're doing until it's too late. They thought they were playing games with your heart, but they were actually playing Russian roulette with a spiritual assignment. There are certain people in life who come with warning labels straight from heaven, handled with reverence. You were one of those people. You didn't come to them out of coincidence. You were sent strategically, divinely, and purposefully. But because you didn't come in a fancy package, they couldn't recognize the power you carried. They disrespected the blessing because it didn't look like the one they expected. Now the regret is eating them alive, not just because you're gone, but because their life hasn't been the same since. The favor that followed them when they were connected to you, gone. The peace they had in your presence, disrupted. The spiritual covering they never realized you provided, lifted. And all that's left is the memory of someone who was heaven sent, and the reality that they treated you like you were disposable. They thought they could walk away and upgrade. But instead they downgraded their whole life by severing a connection to divine order. You weren't just a person, you were a moment of divine alignment, and they didn't just lose you, they lost the favor that came with you. That's the kind of regret that doesn't go away. That's the kind of loss that hits harder after you're gone.